It's Rovers 2. Started with great intensity, but not a lot of scoreboard pressure at the moment. Ball comes out of that pack, goes the way of Ranger. Ranger goes by hand, picked up by Aldrich for Brigades. Comes the way of Schofield. He feeds the handball out. Brigades players tackled. Umpire said he didn't have any opportunity. Ball comes the way of Schofield. Kim Schofield grabs the ball, puts it on his boot, kicks it out wide. Looking there for Caden Dan. Caden Dan's got plenty of pace, but he still couldn't get to the boundary line. And there'll be a boundary throw-in on the outer side of GBSC Sports Park. The early stages of this first term, with thanks to Warren Taylor Homes.
Yes, nearing the quarter-time break here at GBSC Sports Park. The ball coming in from the far side. Rain last night, but has cleared today to be great conditions for football.
So this is the goal of the afternoon. To
Rovers, they fell foul to that last week, or a couple of weeks ago against Railways, Glenn. One would think that they have learned from their mistakes, but the umpire, in some eyes, could have been a little bit too quick or hasty on that occasion, but as long as it's consistent throughout the game, there won't be much said. The ball coming back to the middle now, and that is 2 goals straight to 2 goals won, I should say, to Brigades, and they lead Rovers just the 2 points. Brigades kicking to the city end as we head toward quarter time, and Rovers to the river end. Don't forget to join us each Saturday morning from 8:30 for Sports Shed Saturday, proudly brought to you by Mitchell & Brown Retrovision in Chapman Road. They're the local boys and girls, and you can always get a great deal at Mitchell & Brown. Just tell them that you heard about it on Radio Mama. The ball up in the air now. Umpire Luxton throws it into the air, goes to ground, goes away of Schofield now. He puts it onto his boot. That's Kim Schofield into the half-forward area. Running through to collect it now is Azavito. He's collected without the ball, and he has a free kick on the half-back flank. He sees the lead. The lead's by Parfitt. Gabriel Parfitt doesn't get on the first attempt, but up comes the boundary. Schofield works hard to ensure he doesn't get ample opportunity, and the ball runs over the white line at centre wing. About to be thrown in now. As I said, nearing quarter time, 2-1. Brigades playing Rovers just the 2 points. In they come now, players setting themselves, knocked to ground. 2 Brigades, 1 Rovers. The ball goes the way of the Rovers custodian who brings it to ground. The umpire says no prior opportunity. And he gets up to Simpson, and he'll have another go. Up they go now, players setting themselves, goes to ground. Comes away of Brigades, or Rovers get it in the end. Goes away Joe Ugle now, like the way he plays. Beautiful weighted kick, but doesn't meet the intended target and finds the defender for Brigades.
Once again, it's Ronan who brings the ball up the ground, looking up there for some movement, finds Kim Schofield. He quickly throws boot to ball, gets it up towards half forward, looking for Hayden Johnson on the ground now. He's a big fellow, but he's coming back from injury, so it'll take a while to worm himself back into the contest. Pack develops, umpire gives them opportunity to slap the ball out. Ball does come out, a Rovers player, or a Brigades player, and that Brigades player will get the free kick, and that is a Brigades player in Ryder. He kicks the ball up the forward pocket and finds Drew McGregor running with the flight of the ball. So all of a sudden, Brigades are lining up for their 3rd goal. Drew McGregor usually does best work in defence, but let's see how he goes up forward, trying to impress his coach, Corey Foote, and saying, you should use me a little bit more up forward. Let's see how he goes. Lining up for goal, number 3 for Brigades. Looks pretty good off the boot, but not good enough. 1 point only on the Point and Building Company scoreboard. And it is Brigades 2 goals to 14, and Rovers the 2 behinds. This first term with thanks to Warren Taylor Homes on Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day. A big round of GNFL footy, and it is round 8. And Geraldton Fisherman's Co-op are the sponsors this year and this week and this time round for the GNFL. And big games today, Chapman Valley hosting Mullawall at Mazzakelly Oval, and Northampton hosting Towns at Percher International.
The ball coming out of defence for Rovers is ricocheted back by Brigades. McGregor in the thick of it again, but a free kick has gone the way of the Demons. Jamie Greer, he sends it to the outer side. Player too late for the ball. Brigades picking up the mistakes made by Rovers, but this bloke knows how to make good of some bad decisions. That's Bo Simpson, in fact. It's Kobe Simpson. He goes one way, then the other. Gets around a couple of players, gives the ball away. Accepts it back, but it's caught in collateral. Going back the way of Brigades now, and it's Ben O'Brien who sends it inside the corridor, but Rovers chop it off. So, Brigades unrelentingly sending it into the half-forward area now. This guy needs to up the ante. I'm talking about Parfitt. Gabriel Parfitt sends it into the half-forward area, but Schofield does the better. Schofield to Schofield. Like cracker to cracker here in the GNFL. Kim Schofield puts it onto his boot. Into the full-forward area. It goes a beautiful kick by Kim Schofield. Unopposed. He's kicked a 50-metre goal here at GBSC Sports Park. And really, as we head to quarter time, set his side up in pretty good shape as we head to that quarter time break.
Yeah, Aidan Schofield set that up. He had little opposition there. He seems to be running pretty well. And you can't say the same for Josh Simpson. He was struggling to run then. And Aidan Schofield got the ball forward and beautifully finished off by Kim Schofield. And as you said, Peter, 5 scoring shots to 2 now as the margin starts to grow on the Poynton Building Company scoreboard on this beautiful day at GBSC Sports Park. Brigades, who are the reigning premier, sitting second on the premiership table, and Rovers are sitting third. So a really good contest, and this is a real test of where these sides are at. Both sides aren't at their best, but that seems to be the way of footy at the moment, with players coming and going. But both still got formidable sides out there as Rovers win the ball forward through Gabriel Parfitt, looking out there for the hard-running player there in Roland Drummond. Ball's on centre wing, goes away of Bookman. Bookman comes inboard, finds Hayden McCartney. McCartney puts it on his right boot, kicks it forward and finds his brother Aaron. Aaron McCartney on his left boot, kicks it forward and finds the hard-running player there in Graham Sandy. Graham Sandy, 50 metres from goal, kicks it up towards the teeth of the goal, looking up there for Todd Aldrich. The umpire said he didn't mark it, or yes he did. And Aldrich has got an opportunity now. Todd Aldrich, who had 2 grabs at it, the umpire said that was plenty. Todd Aldrich will shoot on goal now, and he's only 20 metres out directly in front, lining up for Brigade's 4th major of the afternoon. Todd Aldrich, a big man, and played a lot of footy in his time. So Todd Aldrich from 20 metres out, directly in front, kicking towards the city end in this first term as we head towards time on in this first quarter. And Brigades get their 4th goal of the afternoon on the Poynton Building Company scoreboard. Brigades are 4 goals to 26. They lead Rovers 2 behind.
Yeah, doing a lot of damage in red time are the Hawks here at GBSC Sports Park. And yes, Todd Aldrich getting another goal for the Hawks late in the first term. Rovers have not really troubled the scoreboard too much. So a lovely mark early in the game by the full forward, but unable to convert. And since then, things have not really worked out well for the Demons. In the middle, it's quite even, but in the half-forward areas, we match up both sides. Brigades are a little bit more structured at the moment. The ball back in the middle. Aaron McCartney, Glenn, doing a great job in the middle of the ground and in defence. He's probably one of the best players on the park for Brigades at the moment. He, as I said, brings a lot of people into the game. Up they go now. Umpire throws it aloft. Can Rovers score before the quarter-time break to stem the tide? The free kick is going the way of the Demons, and it is Gabriel Parfitt. He needs to certainly step it up, does the vice-captain. He sends it into the half-forward area. Up they go. Dwayne Neville tries to take the mark, goes to ground. McGregor, he's clever. Gives it to a teammate, puts it onto his boot, sends it out into space. There are 2 players here, both from each side. The Rovers player handball straight to the big Brigades custodian. He puts it onto his boot into the full-forward area, and another mark is taken not far from the goals, this time by Brigades, and it is a nice mark indeed. And it is O'Brien, as you said, Glenn, brought in as an important goal sneak today for the Hawks. And O'Brien will shoot on goal from about 25 to 30 metres. Hardly much of an angle at all, and he knows how to kick them from here, does this fella. So O'Brien, number 4 on his back, kicking toward the city end here at GBSC Sports Park. In the shadows of quarter time, it leaves his boot, and it misses and goes through for the minor score. So it's a bit like the fella in the waffle game last week, Glenn.
Yes, we
put a lot of effort into the goal kicker, and they let us down.
They do. The commentators curse. So a good effort there, but not good enough from Ben O'Brien. But
Rovers let off the hook a little bit there.
Well, they have been a little bit, yes. So 4 goals, 3 plays 2 behinds on the Poynton Building Company scoreboard. With thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors and Warren Taylor Homes, the ball comes back into play through Simpson. He's been lively early. Gets it away to brother Bo. Bo gets it away to another teammate there in Jack Eastoff. Eastoff, good to see him back in Demons colours. Gets it on towards Ranger. Ranger comes out wide and finds Gear. Gear kicks it up towards centre wing, finds Joey Ugle. Ugle's a class player, and he sees the ball across the boundary line in the end. Good bit of pressure there from Drew McGregor. And there'll be a boundary throw in GBSC Sports Park right in front of the Radio Mama broadcast box here. And time running out in this first term, 27 plays 2 in favour of the Hawks.
Yes, Joe Ugle just in front of us, just collected the ball in very cleverly, but didn't have enough acreage to get rid of it in the end as the boundary line came up. The ball going forward now for Brigades. Goes away now of the player there in Caden Dan. He's quickly set upon. The ball comes off the Rovers boot into the middle. Drew McGregor also racking up kicks this afternoon along with McCartney. Gets it away to Jaden Schofield. He doesn't waste time getting it to Kim. Straight onto his boot, and look, he sends it toward the big sticks, but on this occasion just a little bit too hasty and misses all and sundry.
So Simpson to bring the ball back in for Rovers, and there we have it. It's quarter time at the football, and an interesting quarter, good quarter for Brigades, and on the Point and Building Company scoreboard, Brigades 4-3-27. They lead Rovers 2 behinds, and you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Today's Brendale Valley Motors Game Day is Today's Brendale Valley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsor, GT Russell Chartered Accountants and Business Advisors. Helping your business work for you today and tomorrow. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon. Welcome back. Glen O'Malley Motors Game Day. Glenn Barton and Pete Forenza with you on Sportshed, SHL Radio, Radio Mama. We're the home of GNFL footy. Quarter time here in our match of the day from GBSC Sports Park. And an interesting game. Brigades have started pretty well. Brigades 4-3-27. Rovers 2 behind, so a very important quarter coming up for Rovers. Our quarter-by-quarter summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. And for Brigades, Jamie Ryder has won, Kalani Barton has won, Kim Schofield won, and Todd Aldrich won. Rovers no goal scorer at yet. Contenders for the Skidders Player of the Day. Peter, you're looking after Rovers' better players. Who have you like?
Well, no particular order, Glenn. Joey Ugle, Gabriel Parford, Jamie Greer in defence, Roland Drummond up front, and Kobe Simpson also continuing on from the last game I saw him play. He's in good form.
Looking at Brigade's better players, so a pretty even spread at the moment. Aaron McCartney's doing well out of the midfield. Graham Sandy giving them run forward. So too is Ryder. Drew McGregor working well in defence, and Kim Schofield also getting plenty of the ball. We're about to get this second term underway with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack, and umpire Paul Luxton holds the ball aloft, and we're underway in term number 2. And who's going to have the dominance in this quarter? One forward by Rovers, cleverly picked up by Gabriel Parfitt. Parfitt kicks it up towards full forward, looking up there for some action, but nobody home for Rovers. And Brigades clear it out through McGregor. He goes out wide and finds Jaden Schofield on half back, outer side, kicks it up towards centre wing, looking for some run from a teammate. Finds that player now in Kim. Kim Schofield puts it on his left boot. In fact, it's Kim Schofield has got the ball now. He goes the way of O'Brien. O'Brien to Bookman. Bookman kicks it forward up towards the pocket, just in front of the Point and Building Company scoreboard. And the Point and Building Company scoreboard hasn't changed since quarter time. 27 plays 2 in the opening minute of this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack.
And the fellow out on the half-back line was Drew McGregor. He's been good in the first term for Brigades today. Premiership player, of course. He sends it into the half-forward area. Spills off hands and over the boundary. So back in the forward area again for Brigades. It's where it finished in the last term. They certainly piled on some majors in red time to have a handy lead by some 25 points at the first break. The Demons need to consolidate early. The ball coming inboard now, going the way of Ryder. Ryder doesn't waste any time, Glenn, as usual. Puts it straight into his boot, but only through for a minor score on this occasion.
Waiting for quarter-by-quarter scores from around the other grounds, but of course they are starting a little bit later than us. We started early here at GBSC Sports Park this afternoon. So big games being played up at Northampton at Percher International Oval, with Northampton hosting Towns, and a big game out at Mazzucchelli Oval, at Nabwa Oval, with Chapman Valley hosting Mullawar. As Rovers bring the ball back into play through Jared Jupp. He gets it up the ground and finds Glenn Prosser. Glenn Prosser on half back. Short pass, awkward kick, and it's been cut off there by Graham Sandy. So Graham Sandy on half forward, looking to get the ball quickly towards the Chapman River end in this second term. He goes across the ground, set his player up. Rovers could do the best thing they could there through Dylan Curley. Dylan Curley did well. Gets Rovers forward. Clay Sipler gets a handball, looking there for Lewin Valley. Back to Sipler. Ball spills. Comes the way of Castleton. Goes the way now of Ronan. Ronan by hand to McGregor. And McGregor gets it up towards centre wing and finds Kalani Barton. But Kalani Barton runs out of room and runs across the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw-in for the Brigades club rooms here at GBSC Sports Park.
Yes, I thought Rovers might have a bit more speed this afternoon, but Brigades is showing them a clean set of heels to this point in the match. It is, if you've just joined us here on radio number 5328, Brigades leading the Demons yet to open their account. Early stages of the second term. In fact, Rovers have 2 points, but they have had a couple of opportunities to score. The ball now with Joey Ugle. He's been important, but a bit of a lone sailor for the Demons so far. Joey Ugle. Nice kick it is too. He finds Prosser. Prosser's come right down the ground to take that mark. Plays on now, back to a teammate who runs further afield. Away goes, that's Jack Eastoff. A nice kick inside the corridor. If Rovers can pick something up here, they can make something of it. Drummond certainly knows that. He wastes no time, puts it onto his boot, but doesn't have the distance. It's picked up in defence by the Brigades player, but the umpire says no, he's ran over the boundary, and the ball will be thrown in the full forward area now for the Demons, kicking toward the city end in this term.
Yeah, boundary throw in about 10 metres around from the right point post. A boundary umpire to put the ball back into play. Lots of players around the ball. Pressure growing for Rovers. They need to get a quick score on the board. A major, that is. The ball comes the way of Kim Schofield. Feeds a handball out. Goes the way of Castleton. He's tackled. Ball spilled. Picked up now by Rovers. Rovers shoot on goal. Off hands and a minus score. A Rovers player, in fact, was slung. And that's the way the umpire has seen it. So a free kick will come back. And Rovers will shoot on goal from 20 metres. And the free kick will go the way of Rovers' Josh Simpson. So Josh Simpson kicking towards the city end, gets the opportunity to get his first major of the afternoon, and more importantly, get Rovers' first major of the afternoon. So here we go. Josh Simpson lining up for goal. Can he get the first one on the board for Rovers in this term and this game? He should do from there, talented player that he is. So Josh Simpson lining up for goal. Let's see how he goes. There goes the kick from Simpson. Looks pretty good off the boot. In fact, not good enough. Hard to believe, isn't it, from 20 metres?
Yep.
So Josh Simpson, in perfect conditions, would be disappointed with himself. So the scoreboard changes a little. Rovers go to 3 behinds, and Brigades are still 5-3, 28 on the Poynton Building Company scoreboard, so a 25-point margin.
Yeah, a much-needed goal that was, and that's an understatement. The ball goes to the outer side. Brigades doing the better. Kalani Barton liked his game so far today. Kim Schofield ditto to him. Castleton, 3 in a row. They get the ball. They send it further afield, but Rovers intercept across the centre line. Going back the way now of Bo Simpson, who's come up the ground. Back into the player there in Castleton now. Castleton steadies the ship. Sends it into the corridor, and they're away through Ryder. In fact, it's Dan who has the ball into the half-forward area. Gives it to a teammate who plays on now. Goes away with Aaron McCartney. He sees the big sticks. He puts it inside the corridor, but no one at home. A lot of room there for the Rovers defender. He doesn't do well with the ball. He only kicks it just in front of him as Jamie Greer goes the way of Brigades now, and they almost made a meal of it, the Demons, as they go one way then the other, trying to get it out of defence. Greer looking a bit unhinged this afternoon. Gets it to a teammate who quickly puts it onto his boot in Gabriel Parfitt. Straight back to McCartney where this passage of play began. He sends it into the half-forward area toward the point post, and luckily for the Demons, it comes off hands and spills over the boundary.
Ball to be thrown back into play, and the boundary umpire will go to work and bring the ball back in. It's at the Chapman River end in the early stages of this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. 5 minutes gone. Boundary umpire to put the ball back into play. And can Brigades get a score while they have it deep in their forward line? Rovers defenders are working hard. They need to. Ball comes out and Simpson's there. Simpson grabs the ball. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. Runs through the centre. Goes by hand to Josh Simpson. Back to Kobe Simpson. He's tackled. And the umpire said, you caught in possession, so now the free kick will go the way of Graham Sandy. So Graham Sandy plays on quickly, gets the kick forward, and Sandy gets in the way of the player there in Schofield. He gets it further up the ground as Brigades try to get the ball into attack deep. The ball's about 50 metres out. Rovers defenders working hard, and Delane does well, gets it out, finds the big man there, Dwayne Neville. Dwayne Neville for Rovers turns around, shoots the ball up towards half forward. Rovers player better get rid of it. He does. Comes the way of another Rovers player in Glenn Prosser. Comes out, spills the way of Azevedo. Azevedo kicks it towards full forward. Nobody home for Rovers. Sam Millet's there for Brigades, and he kicks the ball out of trouble briefly.
He certainly does, as it gets bottled up on the half-forward line now for the Demons.
Free kick to Rovers.
Yeah, free kick is going to go the way of Azevedo. So Azevedo, he's only subbed on toward the end of the first term. Lively young player. Coming over from Chapman Valley a couple of seasons ago. Azevedo. He'll kick from about 45 when he gets onto this one on a 45-degree angle, kicking toward the city end. A goal here will be the first for the Demons. Let's see what he can do. Azevedo. In he comes now. It's a nice kick off the boot. The umpire moves to one side because it goes straight across the goals and through for the minor score. So, alas, the Demons fail to score yet again.
So the ball will come back into play as we quickly go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Quarter time at Mazzucchelli Oval. Chapman Valley 6 goals straight, 36 lead Mullawar 4 goals 5, 29. So it's a bit of a shootout out at Mazzucchelli Oval. Looking forward to a score from the Northampton Towns game, and as soon as we have it, we'll bring that to you. But those games are running on time. This game is running early. It started early this afternoon here at GBSC Sports Park. Ball comes back into play. Comes back to Rovers. Rovers get it the way there of the player in Ugle. Ugle gets it forward, looking up ground for the Rovers player in Joel Walker. He's very close to the boundary line and has the player tackling him. The umpire's had no prior opportunity, so the umpire, Robert Bennett, will throw the ball up in the forward pocket. So time ticking by in this second term. 10 minutes gone, and on the scoreboard for Poynton, it is Brigades. We'll go by the scoreboard, 5 goals 3 to Rovers 4 goals straight, and Rovers' Josh Simpson made a meal of that one and got it through for a goal. So Rovers get their first goal of the afternoon thanks to Josh Simpson.
Josh Simpson scoring for the Demons, and it couldn't have come soon enough for the Red and Blacks at this stage. in the middle stages of the first term, their first major of the afternoon. They go to 1-4. They trail Brigades 5-3. No breeze really to speak of here this afternoon. If anything, it probably is favouring the River End slightly. But it is great conditions for football. Reasonable crowd in attendance to watch this clash. Where, Glenn, we're expecting Rovers to decide where they sit in season 2022 up against the current premier in Brigades, who are smarting from their loss against Railways last week.
Ball comes back into play. Rovers trying to get the scores running their way. Comes the way now of Ugle. Ugle puts it on his right boot. Kicks it up towards the forward pocket. Looking up there for the hard-running player there in Joel Walker. But Brigades can settle down through Clay Sipler. Sipler comes up the ground and finds Fraser Ismail. Fraser Ismail, short pass, finds Jack Deschamps. And he was well and truly out of the contest there, but Deschamps does well. Gets it back to Ryder, back to Ismail. Ismail kicks it up forward and finds Todd Aldrich. Aldrich plays on quickly, not a very good kick. Gives everyone an opportunity here. They can all run onto it, including Brigades. Brigades do through Schofield. He handballs it forward, looking there for the hard-running player in O'Brien. In goes Ryder, but Rovers have the numbers. Rovers clear through Simpson. And Kobe Simpson goes the way of Greer. He goes the way of Dylan Curley. Dylan Curley has the ball on centre wing.
Dylan Curley sends it inboard now, finds Joey Ugle. He'll make something of this. Straight down the corridor, but it's Brigades who do the best, coming out of defence. Up into the air, they knock it down. Rovers able to read the bounce well. A player is brought to ground in the end. And the umpire blows his whistle. That player brought to ground was Glenn Prosser. He's caught in possession. And a free kick will go the way of the veteran in Sam Millett. Sam Millett, another premiership player with Brigades, goes laterally now, finds Kim Schofield. Schofield brothers racking up kicks this afternoon. Sending it down the wing, the far side, the golf club side of the ground, finds McCartney. That's Hayden McCartney. McCartney puts it onto his boot and finds McGregor at centre wing. Chipping it up the ground and doing what they will at the moment, Brigades. They've got hold of this game at this stage as they send it inboard. A nice mark is taken by the big ruckman there in Hayden Johnson. Back in the lineup this week. Johnson sends it down the corridor. It wasn't a good kick in the end, but it's eventually picked up by the player there in Ryder. He sends it into the half-forward area, going one way, then the other. It's picked up by Schofield, who shoots on goal, but unluckily for he comes off his boot just a little bit too early, Glenn. And he's under pressure in going through for the minor score. But when Jaden Schofield gets the ball, Glenn, he does make something happen. Yeah, you expect something to happen as the scoreboard rolls over for another minor score to Brigades. And looking at the point in the scoreboard, did Brigades kick a goal this quarter? I didn't know they did. But Brigades 5 goals 4 to Rovers 1 goal 4. So I think the scoreboard may be wrong there. But looking at other scores from other grounds as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Up at Northampton, the start of the second quarter, Towns 22 lead Northampton 10. So a good start for Towns at Northampton. Yeah, the ball in the middle now goes away of Dylan Curley. A nice big kick into the full forward area. Players setting themselves. Millett, a brave mark. He almost took in defence going into the goalpost. He gets it away to a teammate now, puts it onto his boot. He sends it to the outer side in Sepulveda, and it finds the sanctuary of the boundary. So Dylan Curley, Glenn, starting to raise his head above water for the Demons at the moment, and they need a few more of those players if they're to get back into this game. They do. They really need to lift. They don't want to get too far behind heading towards half-time. Still plenty of time to play in this quarter. Only 14 minutes gone in this second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack, on Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. Brigades trying to get the ball forward through Graham Sandy, who was pushed in the back a couple of times there. So Graham Sandy gets the free kick. Plays on now, goes out wide, and finds a teammate there in Kim Schofield. Back towards Graham Sandy. Brigade starting to get the network working. He gets it up towards half forward, pack into the air. Good mark taken by the Brigades forward. And that's Jaden Schofield just in front of the scoreboard. Jaden Schofield plays on quickly. And another short pass. And he's picked out Ben O'Brien. Ben O'Brien, who is playing up forward today, as he always does. But he's got the key role because Dale Williamson unavailable this afternoon. So Ben O'Brien shooting on goal from 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Usually a very fine kicker of the football. Ben O'Brien in his second season at the Brigades after trading over or changing over from the Railways Footy Club. So Ben O'Brien shooting on goal, kicking towards the Chapman River end. There goes the kick from O'Brien. Looks pretty good off the boot, but not good enough. Fades away to the left-hand side.
and Rovers can clear out, and it goes to Simpson. Simpson gets it out wide and finds a teammate there in Bo Simpson. And he goes further up the ground on the other side.
They've fixed up the scoreboard now, Glenn. It is 4-5 plays 1-4 in favour of Brigades. The ball on the far side now at centre wing. Rovers starting to build in momentum now as the ball comes off the boot of that player. Inside the forward 50 it'll go. Running onto it is Drummond. Can he get enough inertia to take it forward? The ball bounces inside the forward 50. The defence for Brigades working hard. They put it into space on the far side. They do a lot. They know this ground pretty well too. The Brigades players as it goes away now of Castleton. Castleton puts it onto his boot, sends it inside the centre square. It's picked up now again by the player there in Parfitt. Parfitt puts it onto his boot inside the forward 50. He's looking for Simpson. Simpson goes the player and not the ball. The ball spills free and a player is almost gang tackled to ground, caught in possession, and now Simpson will have another shot on goal. Glenn, he had a shot earlier today but missed from almost point blank range. He's a little bit further out but he is directly in front. So now Josh Simpson will shoot on goal again for the Demons, and if he scores this one, the Demons are well and truly back in the game this afternoon.
So Josh Simpson has kicked the last goal. He kicked that a few minutes back and now has an opportunity to add to his tally, this time a little bit further out, 40 metres out. He's pretty happy with that, and so are Rovers. So Rovers get their second goal of the afternoon on the Point and Building Company scoreboard. Rovers go to 2 goals 4-16. They trail Brigades 4 goals 5-29 as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Out at Mazzucchelli Oval at Nabwa, at quarter time, Chapman Valley 6 goals lead Mullawar 4 goals 5. And in the early stages of the second quarter, up at Northampton at Percher International Oval, Towns 22 lead Northampton 10.
Josh Simpson, yes, of course, Glenn, he rode one off the pack earlier on, and it was the only score for Rovers at that stage, and he's figured in all of them now. So the ball back in the middle now. Players setting themselves. Rovers win the ruck on this occasion, goes to ground. Gabriel Parfitt tries to knock it out with one hand, is almost pinned to the ground as the ball spills free. Going forward now for Brigades. Jamie Greer comes in, he collects the ball, he gives it now to Eastoff. Eastoff goes one way, then the other. Eventually finds Simpson. Simpson starting to do something special this afternoon. A nice kick into the full forward area. Up they go. Running over the back is the Rovers player. He can't take the mark. The defender for Brigades does the better. He sends it out to this fella. And that fella is Kalani Barton. Kalani Barton of the half-back flank sends it to centre wing. He's looking for support out there. There are a host of Brigades players. They do the better of it in the end as they go forward in the guise of Blake Taswell. Blake Taswell sends it inboard now, going the way of Aaron McCartney. McCartney sends it forward now. He can set something up, puts it inside the corridor. There's a host of players. Opportunity for Brigades is running out now as it goes away of Kim Schofield. A clever handball over to McGregor, puts it onto his boot into the full forward area, but alas, it misses everything and goes through for, I think it is a minor score on the end.
It is, yep. So Brigades on the Point and Building Company scoreboard. Brigades are 4 goals 6-30. They lead Rovers 2 goals 4-16. So a good build up there, and Brigades look to be heading in the right direction, but they couldn't finish it off as they would like. So Rovers defence to bring the ball back in through the Rover defender there in Kobe Simpson. Kobe comes out towards the clubroom side of the ground looking for Dwayne Neville. Dwayne Neville slaps the ball inboard, then goes back and retrieves it from a teammate. Kicks it up towards half forward, looking for Hayden Johnson. Johnson misses what he usually would not. Goes the way of Johnson. He gets rid of the ball, gets it up towards Bachman. Ben Bachman gets a handball away, but it was a one-handed handball, and the free kick will go the way of the young Rovers player there in young Jack Eastoff.
Eastoff sends it into the half-forward area. The leads for Rovers comes, but it was a little bit too late. Hayden Johnson does the better. He gets it over to Kim Schofield. Schofield to Schofield. It is now with Jaden Schofield. Gets it across to Sandy. He weaves through the middle like an Indian rubber man. Into the half-forward area it goes now. Can Brigades do something here? Rovers defence working hard. A toe poke will do something. Will it? Goes
it's a goal.
No, it's not, Glenn. It's going through the minor score.
No, I think the umpire's saying it's a goal. It's a goal.
That's interesting because
it bounced.
No, I don't think it'll be a goal because the goal umpire was right there.
Hands,
see,
yeah.
I told you. I could see it from here, and he called it straight away. I like that. I do like that decision, not because it was the right decision, but because the goal umpire actually got the last word,
right,
which is really right. Because often you see that the central umpire
overrides.
Tends to overrule them.
Yeah.
The ball on the far side now. Players setting themselves. Rovers have possession. Starting to make something of it now, the Demons, as we head to the middle stages of the game. Can they set something up? Another goal here would make it interesting. Into the half-forward area. Up goes this fella, and Curley. Curley gets it out to Jack Eastoff. He goes one way, then the other. He can set something up inside the corridor. There's no one there. Eastoff just blazed away. Then he had an opportunity there to set something up, but wasted it, I believe. And it bounces over all and sundry and over the boundary. So the ball will be thrown in now in the full-forward area for Rovers, but there's still in an opportunity for the Demons to score here.
Yeah, Brigades have added only 4 behinds in this quarter, and Rovers have added 2 goals too. So an interesting quarter. We're into time on now in this second term. Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. Second term for Melissa Price, the member for Durack. So the game is back in the grips of either side, and Brigades need to get the value for effort. So too do Rovers as Aaron McCartney grabs the ball, puts it on his left boot. Ball goes high, wide and handsome. Goes the way now of Dylan Curley. Dylan Curley kicks it back, but the only player there is the hard-working player there, and Clay Sippler, who's a very, very reliable defender for the Hawks year in, year out. There goes Clay Sippler's kick. Goes out wide. Looking out there for Graham Sandy. Rovers have the numbers. Comes back into play, but Brigades get a slipper into it. Ball comes out. Comes back to Jack Deschamps. He goes out wide. Looking there for a teammate. Ben O'Brien couldn't pick it up, but Graham Sandy can. Sandy gets a short pass back to Deschamps. He goes on with another handball. Finds Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield sends it up to brother Jaden. Jaden steadies,
nice
kicks
kick.
towards full
Beautiful
forward.
kick.
And there, only metres out from goal, is Christopher Ryder. And Christopher Ryder can't believe his luck. Christopher is only 10 metres out, directly in front, kicking to the river end.
Great team play by Jaden Schofield.
Beautiful stuff, yeah. And the Brigades will get their first major of the afternoon in this term, the first in this second term. There goes his kick, and Christopher Ryder gets it through. And on the Pointed Building Company scoreboard, Brigades go to 5 goals 7, 37. They lead Rovers 2 goals 4, 16.
And suddenly when Rovers looked like they were in striking distance, Brigades kick a goal and ensure that they had the upper hand here on our Drennan O'Malley game day. And as I've mentioned earlier today, don't forget to join us each Saturday morning from 8:30 for Sportshed Saturday, brought to you by Mitchell & Brown Retrovision. Early on, we have the early panel. And this morning we chatted with Glenn Mitchell, and Glenn was miffed, Glenn. It's what was happening at the WACA. The WACA is in a little bit of turmoil.
Yes, it seems a bit sad, doesn't it, when we continually turn over players of great quality, like the players that have left the board in Graham Wood and his compatriot, which is very sad. Yeah. Yeah,
so interesting when we're having such success on the field as well last season with the WACA. The ball back up in the middle now. Up they go. It's knocked down by Matt Adams on this occasion. Rovers can score here. Nice kick into the full forward area. The mark isn't taken. The ball spills free. Goes away of Curley. He's dangerous. He does a check side kick inside the forward 50, but no one's there to collect it. The defender for Brigades is resolute. Puts it onto his boot. Kicks to the outer side. Brigades are away. Sandy starting to rack up kicks this afternoon. He sends it inboard now. Finds Castleton. Steady, Castleton, as you'd expect. Kicks further afield, and looks like it's Ryder that's come right down the ground. That's Jamie Ryder, who scored the last goal for the team, I should say, for the Hawks. The ball coming almost at centre wing. Up they go. A bit of a contest, and it finds the boundary. There are a lot of people, Glenn, on the far side of GBSC Sports Park this afternoon. Good to see.
It is good to see, and they're seeing a pretty entertaining game of footy. Rovers are still in this contest, but they'd certainly like the next goal prior to the big half-time break. Brigades are doing pretty well on the scoreboard and are in a comfortable position. And although Brigades have had a fair bit of the ball, they haven't got many goals on the board this term. They've got 1, and in fact they've only got 1 goal 4 in this term. And as I mentioned earlier, we've seen Rovers add 2 goals too. So the ball is out of bounds on the outer side, just in front of the scoreboard, which reads Brigades 37, Rovers 16. Boundary umpire to put the ball back into play. And the umpire taking a little bit of time, and he's been told to go back to where the ball went across the line, and he has found that spot now, and the umpire puts the ball back into play. The big fellas go at it. In goes Bookman for Brigades. In goes Schofield, gets it out to Ryder, and once again a whistle on play. A player was held while not into possession, and that is Jack Deschamps. Deschamps is 55 metres from goal, and there's the siren And the game has come to an end for the first half. Half-time at the football. And on the Point and Building Company scoreboard, Brigades are 5-7-37. Rovers are 2 goals, 4-16. You're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Today's Renton O'Malley Motors Game Day is
Quarter, and a really entertaining game here with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. We can tell you that at half-time, Brigades 5-7, 37 lead Rovers, 2 goals for 16, a 21-point margin. Brigades led by 25 points at quarter-time. They now lead at 21 points. This, of course, is Dren O'Malley Motors Game Day. Glenn Barnett and Pete Forenza with you this afternoon on Sportshed, SHL Radio, Radio Mama, and we are the home of GNFL Footy. Round 8 for the Geraldton Fishermen's Cooperative, and we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Still waiting for a half-time score from Mazzucchelli Oval, but a half-time score from Percher International Oval. And at half-time, Northampton, with the breeze at their back, had a very good second term. Northampton 6-6-42, lead Towns 4-4-28. And still waiting on a score from the Chapman Valley game. Chapman Valley were up by 11 points or so at quarter time, and they now waiting on that score to come through. But the games are all wind affected, but this game doesn't seem to be too wind affected, does it, Peter? This one here, I don't think, but they seem to be. The game at Northampton is certainly wind impacted, we have been told by Alan Headland this afternoon, so looking forward to those scores coming through. Our goal scorers until half time, Brigades have got 5 single goal scorers: Jamie Ryder, Kalani Barton, Kim Schofield, Todd Aldrich and Christopher Ryder. And Rovers have got 2 goals from Joshua Simpson. Looking at contenders for the Skeeters Player of the Day, Peter, you're looking after the Rovers better players today. Who have you liked in the first half?
Well, Glenn, both Simpson brothers have been working well in defence. It's both Bo and Kobe. Gabriel Parford is starting to figure in the middle of the ground along with Joey Ugle, but Dylan Curley probably has emerged as the player with the biggest impact for Rovers at this stage.
Okay, looking at better players for Brigades, I think the defenders have done really well, but it's probably made look a lot better because Rovers have been bombing it in there, and the Brigades have been mopping it up well in defence. Sam Millett, Clay Sippler and Lewin Valley doing very well there. Around the midfield, a lot to like about the way Aaron McCartney's going about his work. Graham Sandy getting a lot of the ball, Peter, probably the biggest possession gatherer at the moment, along with Kim Schofield. Jaden Schofield is always valuable. Drew McGregor has played an interesting role too this afternoon, and it's certainly anybody's contest at the moment, and really neither Rovers or Brigades have taken the game by the scruff of the neck, but you'd have to say that Brigades are doing well looking at the scoreboard, but Rovers not out of this contest, a very important third term.
Certainly will. As we go into the third term, Brigades lead by some 21 points, and they led by 25 at quarter time. Rovers trying to make an impression, but Brigades just upping the ante a little in the final stages of the first half to ensure that they have a bit of a buffer as we go into the second half of this important game for season 2022. This quarter brought to you by Drennan O'Malley Motors, and we say g'day to Ron, John, Rachel and all the team, Glenn, that haven't been able to go to work for a couple of days.
Okay, but they'll be back in business on Monday, running everything smoothly, and we wish everyone at Drennan O'Malley a speedy recovery from the ongoing situation that is the COVID situation for many people at this time. But let's have a look at what happened in earlier games today with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. In the Colts, Rovers were too good for Brigades, and Brigades won the reserves on a forfeit. In other games around the region, in the games out at Mazzucchelli Oval, Mullawall winners in both the Colts and the reserves. And in the minor grade games up at Percher International Oval this afternoon, Colts were won by Towns up Northampton, and Northampton won the reserves. So that is the situation as we speak. Looking forward to this game being underway. Rovers are still being spoken to by their coach, and Brigades are out and about ready to go. So Rovers are now coming straight out onto the ground, and Rovers will go straight into position, and looking forward to a pretty entertaining second half of football. And this third term, very important for Rovers to get the score on the board early, Peter, and keep in touch with the hard-running Brigades.
Yeah, certainly, Glenn. They need to get into it early, because if they don't do something this term, the game will certainly get away from them. They do have the ability out there, but their decision-making at times has left a lot to be desired. And, well, they do have the players on the park. And as I said, some players starting to raise their heads now. Dylan Curley, one of those. He certainly is a player, a contributing player in the competition. It certainly has an impact. Joe Ugle too, Gabriel Parford. But they need some support in there as well. Moments away from a start in the second term to call the action for the second term. Brought to you by Dredden O'Malley Motors, Mr. Football, Glenn Barnard.
Yeah, looking forward to a really good third term. And you'd have to think the Brigades are favoured to go on, but the Rovers, they will have been inspired by their coach, Ian Comben, at the half-time break. And importantly, Josh Simpson starting to get a lot of the ball in that second term. We're underway in this third term with thanks to Dredden O'Malley Motors, and Rovers quickly after it. That player himself, Josh Simpson, grabs the ball from the centre, kicks it up towards half forward, ball running free. Picked up by the young player there, and Jai Thurston for the Rovers side. Handballs it forward, but once again, the defence of Brigades come out. Lewin Valley gets his kick forward, but it's cut off by Joey Ugle. He sends it back. Once again, Brigades can rebound. They have it on the outer side. Goes the way of Jaden Schofield, the wingman. He gets it up the field and finds the hard-running Caden Dan. Caden Dan for the Hawks. Kicks it towards centre-half forward and finds Graham Sandy. And Sandy is playing well this game.
Remiss of me to not have Josh Simpson in those better players. Glennie was on another list that I had beside those better players, and Josh Simpson certainly was among the better players in the first half for Rovers, scoring all of their goals. The ball coming forward now, going the way of that player, and Josh Simpson goes one way, then the other. Bit of a don't argue. The crowd didn't like that. He sent it into the half-forward area, going the way of Shannon Cox. He too goes one way, then the other. He can set something up. It's a beautiful deft kick into the full-forward area. Up they go. Rovers up first to the fall of the ball, but the Brigades defender in Lewin Valley does well. Puts it onto his boot, tries to get out of danger, gives it to a teammate who also does the same thing, but kicks it straight down the throat of the Rovers player who sees the big sticks on that occasion. And gee, that was the goal sneak and a half. He was able to score that goal, and he had two. He was very much putting on a lot of pressure on that occasion and going through for the major score. So Rovers get a much-needed goal early in the third term, Glenn, and they needed that one.
Shannon Cox, beautiful goal, and yeah, as you say, described it beautifully. Peter Shannon took the extra time and finished it off beautifully. So Rovers well and truly back in this contest. Point and Building Company scoreboard. Rovers are 3-4. They trail Brigades 5-7 as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Half-time score at Nabua, Mazzucchelli Oval. Chapman Valley 12 goals to 74. Lead Mullawar 6-5-41. And the other game up at Northampton Oval. Northampton 6-6-42. Lead Towns 4-4-28.
Ball coming out in the middle again, and Rovers certainly have come out to play in this, the third term. The scoreboard reads 3-4. They trail Brigades 5-7. Ball back in the middle now. Umpire throws the ball aloft. It's knocked down by the big ruckman for Rovers, but only as far as Deschamps. Deschamps onto his boot into the half-forward area. He's looking for Dan. It bounces in front of that player. Dan tries to run onto the ball, but he's got his opposite number to beat. He does well on that occasion. That player is, he looked like a bit of a rag doll as the Rovers player bounced in amongst a host of Brigades defenders. The ball spills free, going back the way of Dan now. He too is quickly set upon, and almost a sling tackle. The umpire says a free kick will go the way of that particular player, and that is Sandy. You've liked him, Glenn, so far in this game. Sandy puts it onto his boot into the half-forward area. But Simpson, that's Kobe Simpson, who's had a pretty good half of football to this point, takes a mark and relieves the pressure for the Demons.
Yeah, the defenders of both clubs have done very well in this contest, Peter, as Kobe Simpson takes it out wide. Looking out there for the high-leaping Rovers player in Denham Ranger. Ranger couldn't put a handle on it. Ball comes to the ground. Brigades have an opportunity on the outer side. Pack develops. Umpire says you're caught in possession, and the free kick will go the way of the Brigades player. And the Brigades player, in fact, the Rovers player gets the free kick. So Rovers quickly get the ball up along the outer side and out of bounds. So the boundary umpire will come into play on that outer side in front of the crowd on the outer side, sitting on their deck chairs on the backs of their cars, enjoying the footy and the weather conditions this afternoon. I think most of us all week expected a little bit of rain this afternoon, but there hasn't been a lot of rain. There's been plenty of sun. Beautiful conditions for football. Ball comes the way now of the Rovers player there in Dwayne Neville, but the Brigades players take it away from him. kick it up along the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw-in in the forward half for the Brigades side as the boundary umpire to throw the ball back into play. 37-22 in favour of the Hawks here at GBSC Sports Park, and time ticking by in this third term with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL footy, and it is round 8 this weekend with thanks to the Geraldton Fishermen's Co-op. The ball is on half back for the Rovers side, half forward for Brigades. They go forward through Ryder. Ryder gets it up towards the teeth of goals, but Rovers' defence is good, or are they? They get it out the way of Kalani Barton. Barton screws it around the corner, finds Ryder again. Ryder looking for his left boot, finds it, centres the ball beautifully. Good vision there from Ryder, and Jamie Ryder, not being greedy, looked for the better position, and he found a teammate who is 30 metres out, directly in front, kicking to the city end, and that player is Jordan O'Brien. Jordan O'Brien lining up for goal.
Starting to become a solid player in the Brigades lineup, Glenn, is Jordan O'Brien. Does see Josh Kennedy skip. He's about 45 metres out, straight through the middle, and that's a quick answer by Brigades to Rovers' goal. Moments into the third term, they now to go to 6-7, and they lead Rovers 3-4. Glenn, this morning we promoted the Sporting Park Open, which is happening adjacent to where we are this afternoon, here at GBSC Sports Park, the Sporting Park Open. Spoke with young professional Braden Becker, and interesting to hear him talk about the young golfers on the circuit and being well and truly inspired by Cameron Smith.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see, isn't it? It must be quite a task travelling the world in a suitcase and working as hard as they do to get their opportunities. I guess it's very similar to the tennis tournaments, isn't it? You know, where you have to really put yourself in a very awkward and tough position and work really hard to get to the next level.
Certainly. The ball coming out of the middle now, players setting themselves. Going away at Bo Simpson now, gets it to a player there in Eastoff, quickly set upon, and the ball is brought in again. The umpire says no prior opportunity. Of course, we had that conversation on Sportshed Saturday this morning. Thanks to Mitchell and Brown. Don't forget to join us for Forenza on Sunday tomorrow. And I'll tell you more about that as the afternoon unfolds. Joined by Nicola DeFore and also Grant Woodhams on your Sunday morning. Playing some good music. Having a few laughs. The ball coming out of the middle. Going the way now of a player there in Joey Ugle. He quickly puts his hands around Aaron McCartney. The ball's bottled up. The umpire throws it up again. Up they go. Rovers do the better, but Christopher Ryder does well. He sends it to half-forward area. It's picked up by Simpson. Simpson in turn gives it to a teammate. A teammate is Delane. He sends it out to the wing looking for Eastoff. Eastoff can't take the mark, but goes away now of Parford. Rovers have a bit of a run on the ball now as they send it inside the forward 50. Almost a nice mark taken by the Rovers custodian as he goes to ground. He's got 2 to beat. He's tackled as he goes to the deck. The umpire says no prior opportunity, and that player drags himself up off the deck, and Jai Thurston was in a bit of trouble there, Glenn, but the ball back with the umpire now, and is just outside the forward 50 for the Demons. A free kick going the way of Neville. Neville now, Dwayne Neville, premiership player with the red and blacks. A nice big kick into the full forward area, the river end. Up they go, fisted away. Goes away that player in Thurston again. Can he make amends for mopping up the ball a little bit earlier? But the ball is going the way of that player. In fact, it is going the way of Rovers. A free kick has been awarded. Player caught in possession. I'm just trying to see who that player is that received.
Clay Azzavato.
Yeah, Clay Azzavato has the free kick. Jai Thurston worked very hard, Glenn, to keep the ball in there. So Clay Azzavato will have a shot on goal. He'll kick from about 45 when he gets onto this one. He's right in front of the scoreboard, the Poynton Homes scoreboard. Built some beautiful homes around where I live. Does Poynton Homes. A nice kick, but not straight or accurate enough and through for the minor score. So Rovers, Glenn, have come out a little bit more composed than they have been in the first half, but they need to get a score on the board.
Still very low scoring game though, Peter, isn't it, for the conditions here this afternoon? Both sides having their opportunities but not finishing it off on the scoreboard as they'd like. So Brigades have the ball on the outer side. Goes the way of Jaden Schofield, brings it in. It's a good mark taken there by Gabriel Parford, who's been clearly Rovers' best player this year. Gabriel Parford plays on quickly, kicks it up towards half forward, but once again cut off by the Brigades defence and Schofield. He goes the way of the player there in Fraser Ismail. Ismail gets it up the ground, looking there for Ben O'Brien. Jack Eastoff's there for Rovers, gets it back towards Kobe Simpson. Kobe Simpson decides to give it back towards Jack Eastoff. Eastoff running towards the boundary line, sees the boundary across the line, and there'll be a boundary throw-in just in front of our Radio Mama broadcast box here. Term number 3 for Drennan O'Malley Motors in this round 8 contest for the Geraldton Fishermen's Co-op on the Active West Premiership season.
This quarter brought to you by Drennan O'Malley Motors. It is Drennan O'Malley game day. Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Hayden Johnson knocks it down. The big ruckman for Brigades goes to ground, picked up by Simpson. He gives it away to Joey Ugle. Coming out to the wing now. It's picked up by Matt Adams. Puts it onto his boot, but doesn't kick it to a teammate. Goes straight the way now. The player there in Castleton steadies the ship and finds Kim Schofield. On the half-back line, the JJ Clune medalist Schofield has a few options up front and sizes up the opportunities, puts it onto his boot. He's a beautiful kick of the ball with Schofield. Into the half-forward area it goes, and it's fisted away by Dan on this occasion and finds the boundary. So, as we head to the middle stages of the third term, it is Brigade 6-7, leading Rovers 3-5.
So a 20-point ball game here in our match of the day. And Rovers, they are the third position side at the moment. Brigades are the second position side. So that will be the standing if it continues to play in this way. Ball comes back into play and Rovers have it through Gabriel Parfitt. He gets it upfield, finds Dwayne Neville. Dwayne Neville on centre wing, centres the ball, but Brigades do well through Lewin Valley. Lewin Valley recovers himself very well. The young man kicks it high, wide and handsome up towards half forward. Looking up there for Caden Dan. Ball smacked away from the Rovers defence and the ball goes out of bounds again just in front of Ian Comben and Craig Walker, the coaching panel at the Rovers Footy Club, as the boundary umpire comes in to throw the ball back into play.
Ball comes in now. Players setting themselves not far from our broadcast position for Radio Mama. Unopposed, Hayden Johnson gets a ball. He kicks into the half-forward area. Bo Simpson, in fact, it's Kobe. He's first on the scene for the Demons. He plays defensively and puts it through for the minor score. That is 6-8, plays 3-5 in favour of Brigades. Have held sway for most of the game to this point. The Demons have looked threatening at times, but unsustainable. The ball on the far side goes the way of Rovers now, Azevedo. He kicks to the outer side, looking for the player out there in Adam. Adam can't take the mark. The ball spills free, goes way of his opposite number and finds the boundary. Today, Glenn, a good conversation with Jason Chewy Graham.
Yeah, it's great to see Jason back coaching the Colts side that's going to go to the Country Week Carnival in July. And he's very happy with the 36-man squad that he's named. And now it's up to those players to continue to find the form and make themselves available. So it'll be a lot of fun down there with those young men. And, of course, they are the future of footy, not only in the GNFL, but hopefully some of them can step up and play at WAFL level, and who knows, even at AFL level in the years to come.
The ball is with Eastoff now. He's starting to rack up kicks into the half-forward area. And that's what you like to see from a full forward as he comes through and takes the mark. We see a beautiful mark taken by Shannon Cox. Shannon Cox, he scored a goal a little bit closer earlier on, but it's a beautiful kick. Weighted beautifully into the full forward area. The mark isn't taken, though, by the Rovers forward. Goes away of Castleton. Gee, he's got safe hands. Castleton sends it the way of Cox again, though. Fisted away by the smaller player in Sandy, fisted away from Cox and over the boundary. Just in front of the Brigades faithful here this afternoon, broadcasting from the pavilion. We love being in with the crowd here for Radio Mama. In goes the ball now. Players setting themselves. Goes back the way of Gabriel Parfitt, loses possession, goes forward now by Sandy. Goes one way, then the other, gives it back to a teammate, puts it onto his boot, straight into the half-forward area. Can Brigade set something up here? The ball spills free. The defence for Rovers working overtime. A player in Jamie Greer working overtime is an understatement for he, because he certainly is a great defender in the GNFL.
Ball goes up. Aldrich has the best of it for Brigades, but only goes his way of Joey Ugle. Ball smothered off the boot. Joey Ugle's good enough to go back in. Gets it to Adams. Adams goes by hand to a teammate there who gets the ground in Jacob Troy. He goes towards the boundary line. Ball goes out of bounds, and lucky the umpire didn't say it was deliberate. Ball to be brought back in now by the boundary umpire. just in front of the Brigades coaching box. Premiership coach in Corey Foote will be pretty happy with where he sees his side on the scoreboard at the moment. A low-scoring contest considering what beautiful conditions they are here at GBSC Sports Park. Joey Ugle gets it to Gabriel Parfitt. Parfitt gets it up the field to Jack Eastoff. Eastoff gets it up to a hard-running player there for the Rovers side. Picked up by Thurston. And Jai Thurston put it on his left boot, but he was out of line and out of organisation and gets a minus score. So for Rovers, on the Poynton Building Company scoreboard, Rovers go to 3 goals, 6-24. They trail Brigades 6 goals, 8-44. Still a 20-point ball game as we move into time on in this third term with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors.
He was early on that occasion, and I won't use the analogy, Glenn, that I used once before at this venue, I think, but he's a little bit too early with that kick. The ball coming backward into the centre of the ground. See, Rovers could have had a score there going the way of Brigades now as they distribute it into the half-forward area. Bo Simpson does well for the Demons. He sends it out to Gabriel Parfitt. It's starting to step up in tempo this game as Parfitt puts it onto his boot and finds Neville. 2 premiership teammates. Send it into the half-forward area. Beautiful lead by that player. He doesn't take the mark, but I think the umpire says he held it long enough. Yep. It was a nice lead. Is it Thurston again, Glenn?
No, I think it might be Jared Jupp, isn't
Jared
it? I don't know.
Jupp?
No, you might. No, it's Jared Jupp.
Jared Jupp has taken the mark. It was a beautiful lead, and I think the player came over his shoulder, so that's why he got the free kick. Giving it now to Neville. He can score from here. He doesn't waste any opportunity, but he is inaccurate, and it goes through for the minor score.
Yes, a bad loss there to Rovers, an opportunity there, and I think it was Gabriel Parfitt, maybe, or Dwayne Neville.
Dwayne Neville.
Yep. So he should have done a little bit better because he's a noted goal scorer.
He certainly is.
There goes the kick from Clay Sippler. Clay Sippler gets the ball on the outer side. So Brigades, can they rebound after Rovers have missed 2 opportunities in the last few minutes? But a great mark taken by Bo Simpson.
He's had a great quarter, Glenn.
Well, the defenders have been great on both sides. I've been really impressed with Bo Simpson and Kobe Simpson this afternoon. And at the other end of the ground, Sam Millett, Lewin Valley, and also Clay Sippler. So there's a game of defence at the moment. There goes the ball up towards half forward. Once again, an opportunity for Dwayne Neville. He couldn't mark it, but Rovers have an opportunity to rebound now through Denham Ranger. He goes the way of Jacob Troy. Troy gets it up towards the centre half forward position. Still a fair way from goal. In goes Shannon Cox. Whistle on play. Umpire's seen a free kick. It'll go the way of Brigades, and Brigades player has it now. Plays on. That's Jaden Schofield. Centres the ball and goes the way of Graham Sandy. Sandy comes back across the ground looking for Jack Deschamps. He's got a mate to look after him, but Deschamps is good enough. He kicks the ball out towards Hayden McCartney, and McCartney takes a good grab.
McCartney plays on now. Shows a clean set of heels to Joey Ugle, but straight down the throat of Bo Simpson. He's been a magnet, as I've said, in this term. Maybe across the 3 quarters. The ball coming back for Rovers now. They're indecisive, but luckily for them, the bounce has been kind. Going the way now of the player there in Denham Ranger. Gets it to a teammate who plays on now. The Demons can set something up inside the corridor, making the lead.
Good mark.
Oh, a beautiful mark is taken by Azevedo, I think it is, Glenn. Let's have a look on here. Jack Delane, in fact, I apologise, has taken the mark, and he'll have a shot on goal.
And he may have been the player that had the last shot.
Yes, I think so. He's had a bit of a haircut since we've seen him last. So I think it is Jack Delane wearing number 18. Oh, there's a bit of push and shove going on as he shoots toward goal at the river end. He'll kick from about 35 metres onto this one. I don't think it'll make the distance. It's going to drop short. Yes, it runs out of puff and goes through for the minor score. So, Glenn, Rovers have had it in their forward 50 and had ample opportunities in this, the third term.
Yeah, they have. They've really lifted the tempo. You picked that up well, Peter. You mentioned in this third term that Rovers have lifted their intensity, but they certainly haven't got value for effort on the scoreboard. They've added some 1 goal 4. And the Brigades have added some 1 goal 1. So a lot more of the ball, Rovers, but not getting the score on the board that they'd like. The ball is in the centre now. Joey Ugle, one of the hard-running players for Rovers. Good player. Joey Ugle kicks it in towards the forward pocket, looking again for the Rovers player there who gets the ball slapped away from him. Comes back to the player in Azevedo. Azevedo can't pick it up. Picked up by Brigades, and Brigades mop up well in defence. The ball goes in towards the centre. Looking there for Ryder. Ryder and Simpson. And it's won by the player there in Kobe Simpson. And Rovers are out the back door through Jack Eastoff. Jack Eastoff on centre wing. Puts it on his left boot. Kicks it towards Dwayne Neville. Good slap there from the player there in Sam Millett. Picked up by Ryder. Ryder looking for Millett again. Goes back towards the player there in Eastoff. And Eastoff is beautiful tackle there from Sam Millett. Poor old Jack didn't know where the ball was coming from. Comes back towards Graham Sandy. He centres the ball. Looking there for Kim Schofield. Gives it back towards Graham Sandy. Graham Sandy looking to get some movement. Goes backwards. Goes the way of Ben Bockman. And Ben Bockman is tackled. And the free kick will go the way of the Rovers player in Dwayne Neville.
That was a fair tackle, Glenn. It was well and truly. He felt that. The ball going forward now from Neville. He finds Gabriel Parfitt. So the game is really good to watch at the moment, Glenn. Quick, fast, and a lot of skill. As it goes into the half-forward area. Shannon Cox puts it onto his boot into the full-forward area. The ball is almost marked by the player there in Curley. He has another bite of the cherry and has scored in possession, and a free kick will go the way of McGregor. McGregor now for Brigades. He switches play to the outer side, the Sporting Park Golf Club side of the ground, and finds this player in Schofield. Got a little bit out of the game in this term. That's Jaden Schofield into the half-forward area, looking for a play there in Ryder. Goes away of Simpson, though. Simpson to Simpson. Bow to Kobe. Kobe back to Bow. The ball spills free. Brigades, they can do something as Kim Schofield knocks it into space. They go forward inside the forward 50, going toward the boundary again with Schofield. He has the ball. He tries to bottle it up and find the sanctuary of the white line, and he does so in the end, I think. Or will be a ball up right on the line. Oh, there's a bit of push and shove. And a free kick will go the way of Rovers now, and Kobe Simpson receives a 50-metre penalty.
So a push and a shove and a word was said, and now Kobe Simpson goes from the back pocket to centre wing on the outer side. So Rovers really still in this game. 3 straight kicks the difference. 3 goals. 18 points is the margin here as we head into time on in this third term, with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors. Rovers have lifted their intensity, but they haven't got reward for effort just yet. Ball goes the way of the Rovers player there, and Josh Simpson. Simpson has the ball just in front of the point and building scoreboard, and he is 50 metres out, right on the boundary line. Kicks it towards the teeth of goals, pack into the air, but Brigades player stands his ground, and a beautiful mark taken there by Jesse Castleton. Castleton's been in good form the last couple of weeks. Gets it further up the field and finds Ben Bookman. Bookman plays on quickly with a short pass, finds Caden Dan. Caden Dan in the centre of the ground, and we see Brigades going forward. Graham Sandy's tackled, caught in possession, and the free kick goes the way of the player there in Jupp.
Jupp down the middle of the ground, sizes up his option. Nice big kick by Jupp into the full forward area. Shannon Cox goes up into the air easily. It's pecked out of the air by Curley, and Curley now will have a shot on goal. Dylan Curley, as the siren sounds to announce at three-quarter time. It's an important kick for Curley. Should he nail this one, we've got a interesting final term on our hands. So Dylan Curley, one of the best for Rovers this afternoon. He's gone too far to one side and misses all and sundry. And so at three-quarter time, we see it is the Hawks. 6-8. They lead Rovers 3-8. And you're listening to the home of GNFL football. This is Radio Mama.
Drennan O'Malley Motors GNFL Game Day this week comes to you. Build you the home that you want with personalised service and executive right by your side. Stay tuned. The home of GNFL football, Radio Mama. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon. Welcome back. 3/4 time at the football. Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day. Glenn Barton and Peter Fiorenza keeping you company on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. We would have expected to be a little bit wetter than this, but the conditions have been beautiful. But looking at the scoreboard, you would wonder why the score has been so tight, but it's probably because of the intensity, both sides going at it pretty hard. 3/4 time score, and it is Brigades 6-8-44, leading Rovers 3 goals 8-26. And Brigades have led throughout. They led by 25 points at quarter time, 21 points at half time, and now at 3/4 time they lead by 18 points. Our 3/4 time summary with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. And Brigades, their goal scorers have all been single goal scorers. Jamie Ryder, Kalani Barton, Kim Schofield, Todd Aldrich, Christopher Ryder and Jordan O'Brien. Rovers goals, Josh Simpson's kicked 2, Shannon Cox has kicked 1. Peter, you're looking at the contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day. Who have you liked from Rovers in this game?
Well, the Simpson brothers in defence, Glenn, are really holding up the ship for Rovers, Bo and Kobe. Joey Eagle has been good in the middle. Parfitt's had his fair share of the ball. I thought Easthoff had a lot of it in that term. Could have been a bit more, made a few better decisions, but they were the better for mine in that particular term for Rovers.
And Brigades will have to lift their work rate. They're doing well in defence. I've been happy with Sam Millett, Clay Sippler, Lewin Valley, all working very, very well. Round the midfield, Aaron McCartney, Drew McGregor, Kim Schofield, Jaden Schofield getting a bit of the ball. But Graham Sandy continues to be Brigade's most prolific ball gatherer at the moment. He got caught a couple of times in possession, but you've got to get the ball before you can get caught, and they've been putting a lot of pressure on him. So it'll be a great final term. Looking forward to this contest. And the game is still up for grabs. There's only 3 goals in it. Although Rovers have kicked only 3 goals for the game, they could kick 3 goals and draw level. If they're good enough in this last quarter, the game is up for grabs here in our match of the day, with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors, and our last quarter with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants.
Apparently Jamin alone played a good game today for Subi, Glenn, so he obviously was playing, coming back through the Reds today. Yep. So apparently he had a pretty good game today.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. So ball back in the middle as the start of the final term. It is 3-8 Rovers, trail Brigade 6 goals 8, straight 3 kicks in it. Is it enough of a buffer for the Brigade side to take the win and move to the top of the premiership table, Glenn, if they win this one today?
Yeah, so it's a big game, a lot to win for this afternoon. And Brigades and Rovers both desperate for victory. Ball comes out of the centre. Rovers get it through Gabriel Parfitt, kicking towards the city end in this last quarter. Whistle on play. A player was held while not in possession, and the free kick will go the way of Rovers And Clay Azevedo will shoot on goal from 20 metres out directly in front. So the margin will drop from 18 to 12 if he can get this in the opening minute of this final term, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants.
So Clay Azevedo, as Glenn mentioned, dealt with as he went up to take the mark. He's only about 20 metres out, directly in front. He should nail this one. He toe pokes the ball, but it doesn't alter the direction too much. It goes straight through the middle. And Rovers have the first blood on the scoreboard in this particular term, and that takes them to 4 goals 8, and they trail Brigades 6 goals 8. So, Glenn, we have mentioned, or, well, if people have been listening to the game, Rovers have sort of started to become more intense in their game, and the game has really upped in tempo somewhat since the first term, where the Demons found themselves in arrears by 25 points. But now things are starting to even up a little bit as the ball comes back to the middle. Clay Azevedo scoring the last goal for the Demons. This quarter brought to us, Glenn, by Grant T. Russell Chartered Accountants.
Ball back in the centre with umpire Bennett into the air. Can Rovers get the next one forward? Pack develops. Umpire will go in and says, give it to me, boys. I'll throw the ball up again. So lots of players from both clubs around the ball. Game is up for grabs. As we've been saying throughout the afternoon, the margin hasn't ever been too big. And the ball now is back in the centre. Who gets the ball forward? Goes the way of the Brigades player. And the Brigades have it through Jack Deschamps. Jack Deschamps plays on out wide and finds Caden Dan. And he has the ball now on the outer side. Caden Dan looking to get the ball moving. Caden Dan kicks it towards the forward pocket. Rovers in best position. And Jamie Gear takes a good strong mark in the back line for the Demons this afternoon. Puts it on his left boot. Going out wide, very close to the boundary line. In goes Josh Simpson. Josh Simpson couldn't mark the ball. Ball comes to the ground. Eventually comes out, goes the way now of Kim Schofield. He handballs the ball forward, but once again Rovers have the numbers. And Gabriel Parfitt mops up, puts it on his left boot, kicks it towards the centre of the ground. Lewin Valley does well, slaps the ball forward, goes the way of Aaron McCartney. Back to Valley. Valley, beautiful kick up towards the half-forward line. Brigades player got out of his step wrong there, and the Rovers are able to mop up, or are they? Brigades try to go forward, whistle on play. Umpire says play on. Eventually it comes the way of Bo Simpson, and he goes out wide and finds a teammate there in Joey Ugle.
Joey Ugle puts it onto his boot down the far side, the fat side of the ground for the Rovers team as they kick toward the city end in this particular term. The golf club in the background hosting the Sporting Park Open this weekend. We wish organisers all the best, and Glenn, it's cleared up to be a fine day for golf as well. The ball about to be thrown in now. Players setting themselves, waiting at the base of the pack is Joey Ugle, looking dangerous. The ball spills free. Rovers able to knock it forward, but comes out the back the way of the Brigades custodian. Goes away now of Dan. Dan can take 1, 2, 3 bounces, puts it onto his boot inside the forward 50. Up goes Bo Simpson. In fact, it's Kobe Simpson, and he is a magnet, Glenn, this afternoon, and takes a strong mark in defence.
He's been in marvellous form, hasn't he, and continues to play well. Rovers doing well in defence. They need to get their offensive side working a little bit better. Their defensive side's doing okay. Still plenty of time left in this contest. Only 4 minutes gone in this final term, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. And we've got a 12-point ball game. Umpire says play on. It goes the way now of Dwayne Neville. In goes Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield gets pushed in the back. And the umpire should have seen that, and he did, I think. And we're going to see a card. Dwayne Neville will be carded, I would imagine. He landed fair in the back of the player there in Kim Schofield. And Kim Schofield in a bit of bother. So Dwayne Neville's cramped up. But he's got to come off. So the umpire's going to come off. Dwayne Neville's going to come off with a yellow card. Kim Schofield has an opportunity to shoot the ball forward. And Kim Schofield and Dwayne Neville say a few words. And the ball will be on centre wing. And it goes the way of Kim Schofield. So Kim Schofield in a bit of pain. Back pain, that is. So Kim Schofield to send the ball forward. Waiting on the umpire to signal all clear. He does so now. And the time off has been set forward. And there goes the kick from Schofield up towards half forward. Big fella flies. A good mark taken by Jamie Gear. As Schofield comes off for a spell. And Kalani Barton comes back on. Ball running free. Centre wing. Goes the way now of Kalani Barton. He grabs the ball. Kicks it up towards half forward. Once again, the big fellas go at it. Picked up now by Graham Sandy. Drews it around on his left boot. Picked up by Caden Dan. Caden Dan shoots towards goal. He's offline, and a good mark taken again from that man again, Kobe Simpson, who's done a power of work in defence.
He comes across to Gear now. He puts it onto his boot into the half-back area. It comes. Rovers take a strong mark. The mark player coming down the ground to do that was Blake Taswell. Fairest and best in the Colts in season 2021. Good young, tall, springy player. The ball comes in now going the way of Gabriel Parfitt. Parfitt now on the half-back line. Puts the slipper into the boot and finds Curley. This guy's magic when he gets going. That's Dylan Curley. Puts it onto his boot into the half-forward area. And there's Simpson waiting at the back of a couple of players and takes a nice strong mark about 20 to 25 metres out from goal. He's kicked a few goals this afternoon for the Demons, Glenn, and he'll have another shot on goal. Don't want to put the mocker on him, Glenn, but gee, we're talking about Josh Simpson. We're talking about 25 metres. We're talking about a great angle. We're right behind it. He should nail this one, Glenn.
Yes.
And Rovers should get even closer to Brigades.
Yes, it's only a 12-point ball game. It shortly could be a 6. So Josh Simpson kicked 2 already this afternoon, lining up for his third. Can he do it? So waiting on the kick. 25 metres out, or 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle. We'll have a very good view of this one as Josh lets sail for home. Kicks it right across the face of goal. Ball goes off hands and the ball goes out of bounds. And the ball will be thrown back in. So still in a pretty dangerous position. Rovers should be able to make something of it. The ball's deep in the left forward pocket. So Rovers will be keen to get a score on the board. Still plenty of time in this term.
Now, just a question. In the forward line now, I know in the AFL or in GNFL, the ball goes away now of Shannon Cox, who off the back roves and scores. And that was a goal that perhaps should have been scored by Josh Simpson. I was going to ask then, they're allowed to play on now and go around the man on the mark, aren't they? Is that the rule now? I don't know why Josh Simpson didn't even do that then. He's clever enough too.
Yeah, I think, yeah, they certainly can play on.
And he could have.
We don't have the stand rule here.
Exactly.
Right. So, well, it doesn't really matter how you get the goals. Shannon Cox, he made something.
He knows how to get them.
Shannon Cox was deep in the forward pocket. So
suddenly, Glenn, 6 points.
Yeah, one of the closer starts.
6-8, 5-8.
As we go around the ground with thanks to the City of Greater Jordan out at Mazzucchelli Oval. 3-quarter time. Chapman Valley 16 goals, 4-100. Mullawa 8-5, 53. And up at Northampton 52, Towns 42. And we're into the last quarter, so only 10 points the margin up there at Northampton. And it is a wind-impacted game. But I would imagine Northampton will have the wind in the last quarter.
Gabriel Parfitt, a nice big kick out of the full-forward area, and a beautiful kick is taken, a mark, I should say, by Dylan Curley. That was a great burst out of the middle by Gabriel Parfitt. And he'll be racking up votes, I think, Glenn, also for the Clune medal in season 2022. That was a nice mark also by Curley. He goes far too far to one side. He was too nonchalant, Glenn, and going through for the minor score and letting Brigades off the hook.
Dylan hasn't kicked as well as you'd expect today. He had another one from the other end. He didn't kick as well, so let them off the hook. But it's a 5-point margin now, so there's an opportunity now. The next goal, if Rovers get it, will put them in front for the first time
he's wearing
this afternoon.
A guard on his leg, much like Jack Silvani today is Dylan Curley.
Right.
So, yeah, interesting.
As we see Brigades bring the ball in. They go up towards the half back there, looking for Sam Millett. Picked up by Lewin Valley. He feeds a handball out to the veteran and Aaron McCartney. McCartney on his beautiful left boot, kicks it out wide, looking for Ryder. Boundary line comes into play. There'll be a boundary throw-in on the outer side of GBSC Sports Park. Round 8 for the Geraldton Fishermen's Co-op this afternoon. And on the Poynton Building Company scoreboard, it is Brigades 6-8-44. They lead Rovers 5-9-39. So an interesting contest. We've got the game of the day, as you'd think we would have on Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. Ball comes the way of McCartney. Puts it on his left boot. Kicks it towards the forward line. Rovers, can they get it out of trouble? Ball deep in attack. Rovers need to get it out, and they do so now. And the Rovers defender does well. Kicks it up along the line, but nobody home for Rovers. Goes from McGregor to Valley. Valley kicks it out wide and finds Kim Schofield, who's back on the ground now.
Kim Schofield sustained a whack in the back from playing Neville a little bit earlier on in the game. Neville receiving a yellow card. So Rovers down a player at the moment, Glenez.
Which doesn't help, does it?
No, it doesn't, not at all. And they are really upping the ante. They probably had most of the play the run of the play, I could say, since half-time. Brigades hanging on in there as the ball goes toward the boundary. It'll be thrown in just in front of the point and scoreboard, which sees Rovers 5-9 trailing Brigades 6-8. This quarter brought to you by GT Russell, Chartered Accountants. Hello to Grant. Having a well-earned rest today. Grant Russell, he'll be getting ready for Country Week too. I'd say he'll be going down there in a couple of weeks' time. The ball coming inboard now, off the boot of Brigades. The Rovers player in Easthoff went one way, the ball went the other. It's picked up now by Aaron McCartney into space. It's picked up now by Ryder. Ryder swings around, shoots toward goal, but it goes straight across the face and misses all and sundry. In fact, it goes through the point post, past the points, I should say, and is recorded as a minor score.
Well, an important point. All the points, all scores are going to be very important from here on. We're in the early stages of this term. 10 minutes gone in term number 4 for GT Russell Chartered Accountants and Adrenaline O'Malley Motors game day. And we're going to see the ball brought in and a 50-metre penalty. The ball brought in. The umpire was just checking on something, and it's all clear. So the free kick will go the way, or the point will stand, goes the way of Kobe Simpson. Kobe Simpson kicks it into his teammate, but the teammate couldn't mark it. Picked up now by Ryder. Ryder kicks it in towards the forward pocket, and the Brigades player in Ben O'Brien takes his mark. And Ben O'Brien has not kicked a goal this afternoon, and that's unusual for him.
But when he's got the ball around the goals, he's very dangerous.
So Ben O'Brien from 25 metres deep on the boundary line.
He's going to kick around the player on the mark, I think, the way he's coming in, so let's see what he does.
So an important kick, 45 plays 39 in favour of the Hawks. They lead by 6 points. So an important kick. If it's a point, it'll be 7 points. If it's a goal, of course, it'll be 12 points. With the margin, that will be. So Ben O'Brien lining up from goal, deep in the forward pocket. Ball goes across the face of goal, pack into the air, and the ball goes the way of a Rovers Brigades player who was shepherded out of it.
No, it's Rovers free kick.
Rovers was shepherded out of it. The free kick will go the way of the Rovers defender. The umpire signalled that
he pointed the wrong way, I think. Yeah,
pushed out. So the ball comes back into play, and Brigades have an opportunity. They have it in the centre wing. Ball comes inboard and finds Hayden McCartney. Hayden McCartney playing for Brigades this afternoon. Kicks it up towards half forward. And up they go.
Beautiful.
Ben O'Brien takes a good strong mark. A couple of Rovers players went before him, and a Brigades player
went up to spoil, missed it. And
Ben O'Brien read the ball.
He did, he read it beautifully.
So Ben O'Brien, this time dead in front, but he's 40 metres out this time. So he's a further out, but he might kick better from 40 metres than he does from 25. Let's see how Ben O'Brien has an opportunity now. Can he get his first of the afternoon? I think he's probably kicked 3 or 4 points this afternoon. So let's see how Ben goes from here. Directly in front, kicking towards the Chapman River end in this contest. There goes the kick from Ben O'Brien. Looks pretty good off the boot. Goal umpire signals all clear. And Brigades get their 7th goal of the afternoon. On the Point and Building Company scoreboard, Brigades go to 7 goals 9, 51. They lead Rovers 5 goals 9, 39. As we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. 3/4 time footy at Mazzucchelli Oval, and at 3/4 time Chapman Valley 16 goals 4, 100. Lead Mullawall 8 goals 5, 53. And early stages of the final quarter up at Northampton, and Northampton 52 lead Towns 42.
Ball back in the middle now, middle stages of the final term. Brigades may have just done enough to hold on to this game this afternoon, but Rovers have certainly put on the pressure since half-time. A few things going their way, a few goals going their way, and the scoreline would look a little bit different. Ball back in the middle now. Players setting themselves. Umpire Bennett throws the ball aloft. Up they go. It's won by Rovers on this occasion. Will they get it out of the middle? Running through to get it is Joey Ugle. He's impeded in his run forward. The ball goes to the outer side, picked up by Dan. He gets a nice little handball away to a teammate, puts it onto his boot into the full forward area. Can they set something up? Deep in the pocket it goes. The Rovers defence working hard, but there goes Ryder. He spins around on a 50-cent piece, puts it onto his boot, but misses inaccurately, going through for the minor score.
So, interesting scoreline on the Point and Building Company scoreboard. Middle stages of this final term. Still time for Rovers, but it's still always handy to be in front, and Brigades are doing that at the moment. Waiting on the full back to bring the ball back into play, and the scoreboard reads Brigades 7 goals 10, And Brigades 7-10, Rovers 5-9. Ball comes back into play. Ball with Rovers now as they run it out of the half-back line. Goes from Joey Ugle, goes the way of Prosser. Prosser breaks across the centre wing or centre area, kicks it forward, looking there for a player, running onto the ball. Good tackle, but a beautiful tackle by the Brigades player. The Brigades player should have been rewarded. The player
has been.
No, hasn't.
Went through for a point.
Yeah. So the ball comes back into play. So a minus score there to Rovers. Rovers player did well. He put himself under a bit of pressure, but a beautiful tackle from the Brigades player. The ball now on centre wing goes the way of Drew McGregor for Brigades. Ball will drop short. Goes the way of the player there in Ranger. Denham Ranger centres the ball and finds the player there in Bo Simpson.
Bo Simpson just backward of the centre square. And he set something up. He sends it into the half-forward area. He's looking for the player there. Back on the park. Is it Dwayne Neville? I think back on the park. Yep. He's back after his indiscretion. The ball finds the boundary and he's actually given away another free kick to Lewin Valley. So Lewin Valley, I've liked him in the last couple of games we've seen, Glenn. Solid performer, takes a good mark. Down the line he finds Kim Schofield. Schofield at almost centre wing on the golf club side of GBSC Sports Park. All these acronyms, Glenn, they confuse me. The ball coming in now, players setting themselves into the half-forward area. Up they go, no one can take the mark. A free kick has been found and will go the way of the Rovers player. The Rovers defender sends it forward. Looking for Dwayne Neville again, who's come down the ground into the middle. Wants to work something with the ball. He goes one way, then the other. The ball goes away of Brigades now, who do the better. They kick it into space, but it's a bit like tennis. Nadal to Federer, and it finds the boundary on this occasion. About to be thrown in the half-forward area now for Brigades. Kicking toward the river end. Let's see what they can do here. The umpire is going to hoist it high. Up it goes. Players setting themselves. Knocked down by the Rovers ruckman. He knocks it to ground. Bo Simpson does well. Goes one way then the other. Cleverly gets it over to Joey Ugle. Geez, fast Ugle. He goes down the wing. Puts it onto his boot. Finds a teammate at centre wing. And that player takes the mark. No, finds the boundary. That was Shannon Cox. I think that's come right down. So the ball's at centre wing now. Here on Dreadnought O'Malley game day. The game is still in the balance.
10 points, 10 minutes gone and 12 points the margin. So still plenty of time. There's probably a little bit more than 12 minutes gone now as we see Rovers go forward through Josh Simpson. Goes the way of the young Rovers player. Couldn't put a handle on it, but goes back in, retrieves it, does well, does Azevedo. Gets it towards Jack Eastoff. Eastoff kicks it towards the forward pocket. Ball running free, and Rovers see the ball forced through from the Brigades player there in Jesse Castleton. 11 points the margin. Rovers need the next 2 goals. Ball comes the way of Clay Sipler, who brings it in for the Hawks. Kicks it the way of the player there in Fraser Ismail. Fraser Ismail with the ball on half-back, looking for some movement. Finds some through Hayden McCartney. Hayden plays on now. Gets it towards Jack Deschamps. Deschamps on centre wing. Puts it on his left boot. Kicks it towards Ryder. Rovers in best position. Out comes the way of there and Jupp. Jupp goes by hand to the young player there in Jacob Troy. Ball goes up towards centre wing, just in front of our broadcast box. And the player's now pretty tired and asking for some interchange is Eastoff. But he's going back now, looking for some attention. Ball comes back into play. Big fellas go at it. Goes the way now of the Rovers player who's tackled. Ball spills out. Comes back. Rovers player tackled high. Umpire says play on. Goes the way of Deschamps. Deschamps gets it back. Deschamps kicks it forward. Looking up there for Ben Boakman. He falls over the bad stage. And Rovers can mop up, or can they? Ball picked up now by Kim Schofield. Schofield puts it on his left boot. Kicks it towards half forward. Almost a good mark by Ryder. Ball running free. Goes the way of Graham Sandy. He kicks it out in front of his teammate. Teammate can't get hold of the ball. And that's Hayden Johnson. And the ball goes out of bounds just in front of the Poynton Building scoreboard. And it is. The scoreboard reads Brigades 7-10-52. They lead Rovers 5-11-41.
And they'll now have a shot on goal as the ball comes in and the mark is taken by Sandy. So Sandy has been dangerous for Brigades. He is always dangerous for Brigades, this young fella. He'll kick toward the river end. He's on a pretty slight angle though. Severe angle, I should say. So he's going to back himself. He's in front of the Poynton scoreboard. just below it here at GBSC Sports Park. Graham Sandy. And he comes now, kicking toward the river end with the green boots on. Let's see what he can do. The goal here will be decisive. That's important, but not... and I didn't stress the importance enough because it went through for the minor score. So, game is still up for grabs here at GBSC Sports Park, Glenn. Have Brigades done enough? Can Rovers come home? They certainly have won the second half.
12 points is the margin as we see Rovers bring the ball back into play through Simpson, who's been outstanding in defence. Gets it in towards the centre of the ground, goes the way of Jesse Castleton. He goes by hand to Aldrich. Aldrich by hand to Deschamps. Deschamps by hand to Schofield. Back to Deschamps. Deschamps from 50 metres out. Kicks it towards full forward. Goes the way of the young Brigades player who got a little bit excited there in Brian Bockman. And he gets the ball out of bounds on the full. Perhaps could have steadied a little bit more. And the ball goes the way of Rovers. And Rovers' defence will bring the ball back into play.
Yes, the ball will be brought back into play. And gee, we've sung the praises of Kobe Simpson today, Glenn, but he certainly has had a tremendous match and a tremendous season to this point with the Demons. Of course, he played in a premiership side, didn't play last year with them. The ball coming in is intercepted on that occasion, and the mark is taken by Caden Dan. Now, he can make you pay, this fella. Haven't seen much of him this afternoon. I don't think he played last week, did he, Glenn? I don't think he played against Railways last week. But in he comes now, Caden Dan. He'll kick from about 25 metres when he gets onto this one. Kicking to the river end. No one's moving too far to see that go through, and it goes through for the minor score. So, are Brigades wasting their opportunities, Glenn? Only time will tell.
Caden Dan, you were right, didn't play last week, and he's not back to the player he was last season, but he's still working on getting that back, and he's an exciting player when he does get it all together. So 53 plays 41 in favour of Brigades. We're into time on now. 20 minutes gone in this final term with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants, and Brigades look to be on the way to another victory, it would appear. But Rovers, if they get a couple of quick goals, it's their game. Ball comes back to way of the Brigades defence there. Jesse Castleton sees it across the line, and there'll be a boundary throw in. As we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. 3/4 time now at Nabor, and it is a good lead to Chapman Valley. Chapman Valley in control there. Chapman Valley 18 goals for 112 to Mullawa 8-8-54.
That'll be their first win of the season. Second win of the season, yeah.
And Northampton are leading Towns by only 10 points.
Wow.
And we head into the last quarter.
Well, at centre wing now, the ball's with Ryder. That's Jamie Ryder. He sends it inboard now. Finds Deschamps. Deschamps hasn't figured as well as we expect today, but we probably
expect... He looks a little bit tired,
He does.
Yeah,
we probably
not like he's normally himself.
We probably expect bigger things from him because he certainly
it was great early in the year.
He set a high bar, hasn't he? The ball into the half-forward area now for Brigades and finds this player, and he does well to get the ball. And that is Ben O'Brien. He plays on, though. Player on his own. That's Caden Dan, and he's going to get a second bite of the cherry, Glenn, and he is a lot closer on this occasion. He is on a severe angle, but he is only 20 metres out from goal, kicking toward the river end.
So, Caden Dan shooting on goal.
A minute to go, Glenn.
So, Brigades are going to get premiership points and force their way back near the top of the premiership table if they get enough percentage today. So here goes Caden Dan's kick. It's not a good one. It falls away and through for a minus score. On the Point and Building Company scoreboard, Brigades go to 7 goals 13, 55. They lead Rovers 5-11, 41. And we're in the last minute of play.
No score will change the alt of what's going to happen in this match, Glenn, as the ball goes back the way of Caden Dan. Can Brigades finish off with a goal? Goes one way, then the other. Back to the player there who moved forward in Kalani Barton, who goes into space. The defence for Rovers working overtime. They have been pretty good this afternoon. The umpire says, give it to me, boys. And this will be the last throw-up of the game, one would think, as time ticks away in the background here at GBSC Sports Park. Brigades will go to the top of the premiership table at the end of this particular round, as the ball goes forward now toward the boundary, going one way then the other. And the siren sounds to announce that Brigades do go to the top of the premiership table, and they have beaten Rovers in what I have felt has been a fine game this afternoon, played at great tempo, and the crowd here today has certainly enjoyed the combatants. The final score on the scoreboard, it is the Hawks 7 goals 13. They have beaten Rovers 5 goals 11, and you're listening to the home of GNFL football. This is Radio Mama.
Today's Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsors, the City of Greenwich.